Okay, so first of all, we're going to start with the diaphragm. So how many times when you've been riding, your instructor tells you to breathe because you're holding your breath? Or how many times have you come out of a dressage test and thought, I didn't even breathe once? Happens all the time. So the question is first, why are you holding your breath? So is it because you're concentrating so much? Is it because, I don't think that's a good enough answer, because your body's going to breathe anyway. Okay. Could it be fear? Yeah, maybe because you're on a flight animal and you're in a competitive environment. So, or if you're in a lesson that's a bit more pressure on you, so that increase in pressure and fear can switch off that diaphragmatic breath because you go into fight or flight. And so what's more important is everything gets up here. You can breathe from there for a short amount of time, but some of us breathe from there for too long. The third thing is also, are you using your diaphragm as a stabilizer instead of a breathing mechanism? Okay, so yeah, sure, it can do both, but if it's just stabilizing you and not breathing, that's problematic. But then you've got to ask, why is it doing that? And it's probably because other things aren't working well and it's got to stabilize. If you think about, if you subscribe to the philosophy, which I do, that the body is always doing the perfect thing. So if something's not how you want it to be, you've got to look as to the reason why. So we can tell someone to breathe, but if they're stabilizing from their diaphragm, you're taking away a really important strategy for them to complete the task they're trying to execute. So we need to work with the myofascial system to give the body a better strategy and then reinstall the breath, you could argue. I mean, if you want to put a positive light on it, if you're holding your breath, it's a breath hold. So you're building up carbon dioxide, which allows more exchange of oxygen, but we don't subscribe to that for too long. So let's get the body breathing better. So we're going to start that by using some neurolymphatic points in the body, and we're going to work the fascia to get that, and you'll be to activate certain situations. So we're using it to activate the diaphragm right now. And so I've learnt the system Be Activated by Douglas Heel, who's South African, and it's a really cool system. And those guys talk in zones 1, 2, 3, which I think is really nice. Zone 1 being the diaphragm, the psoas muscle, and the glutes. We're just going to look at the diaphragm today. So your activation point for that, if you take the rib cage and you go, I don't know, 10, 15 centimeters down the rib here, and you're going to work, I'm just showing you the line to start with. So you're going to work it from both sides, right up the middle of your body and just across the collarbone. Okay, so the movement for that is, and we're going to do it ourselves, you could use your fingers or your thumbs. I like to do it one side at a time just because I can get a little bit deeper. But we're going to go in and you're just going to work that fascia right on the bone there. And you can just spend 20-30 seconds doing this and work it up. So it's not an in and out, it's not a dipping in and out, and it's not moving the skin along the surface. It's in and then working the fascia. So we're getting in there, and you can be quite rigorous. If you get a really sore spot, you can sit on that for a bit. Don't hurt yourself, don't bruise yourself. Be an adult about it. And then we're going to work right up the middle here and going all the way up. And then we're going to just go past the collarbone there. There. And I think you'll find that after that, everything feels a bit more free. And we can just test it out. It's a really good thing to breathe before and after, just to see if you notice a difference. And that's something you can do before you get on your horse, when you're on your horse, just before you go and compete. You can just get in there, one hand on the rein, and then work your way up, and then you're good to go. And that's just going to settle the body a little bit as well. Now's a good time. Now's a good time to introduce to you my friend the Oov. I'm going to touch on this a lot more. I know it's a little interesting looking, but I can't recommend the Oov enough, especially, I mean, for high performance, for rehab, for basic training, and this is real good diagnostic pre-training tool as well as getting into proper training as well. But I don't sell them, but I just swear by it, so I highly recommend them. And I'm going to do a separate video as to why I recommend it and why it's different to any other prop you might use. But for now, I'm just going to show you, if you do have an Oov, well done you, and I'm going to show you just a very easy way to get yourself into diaphragmatic breathing. So what you're going to do you're going to lie down supine on the oov, so we get very low to the ground there without falling off. Line ourselves up, and then you're just going to get nice and comfortable there. There is a setup procedure. I'm not going to go into that right now. What I just want you to do on your oov is get really comfortable and breathe. It's that easy. Come on, everyone can do that. The reason why it's so nice to just lay on the oov and breathe is because of how it's shaped and how it positions you. You have to breathe from the diaphragm. You got no choices. So there you go. Easy way of diaphragmatic breathing. The next thing, we're going to use, because this is a very common thing that you can pick up anywhere. And what we're going to do is just put it around the back of your body, just like that, and wrap it around. So kind of the base of your ribs. And you can do this standing. I'm just going to do it here so I stay in frame. Have a little bit of tension, so you're just crossing those straps there and pulling. And then what you're going to do from there is breathe into the strap. And then breathe out of the strap. And as you breathe out, you can just pull the strap tighten a little bit just to encourage the bottom of your lungs to kind of squeeze in a little bit. It's not a lot of pressure, it's just guidance. And what we're looking for by using the strap is that you kind of feel like you're breathing into your back, into your sides, and you're filling out all this area. In Pilates, we would call that lateral breathing, but we don't need to label it. This is breathing, right? And what you want to be aware of is when you're doing this, you're not, shoulders, we don't want them involved, we don't need to. So we're keeping it low here, breathing in, stretching the band wide on the in-breath and on the out-breath. Some people start breathing out and trying to push out. So breathe in, feel, you think about it, if you're breathing in, you're filling the area with air, so you want it to expand. And then breathing out, try doing it just through your nose. That's a whole topic in itself, nasal breathing. But just for now, let's just think about breathing through the nose, not the mouth. And see how you go, and I hope it helps.